Man, I've been playing this game so much lately. The DLC just came out. Oh man, I'm having such a good playthrough of this game on this channel. Am I right, guys? I mean, I could never get bored of Breath of the Wild, if I'm honest. Master Mode just came out now, and everyone's complaining it's hard. This is easy! I mean, I don't ever think I'm gonna stop playing this game. What? ARMS has been out a month now, and Splatoon 2 is coming out this weekend? Shit! Fucking... God damn it, Nintendo! Stop making good games. You're making good games too fast! You're making good games too goddamn fast, Nintendo. I'm out. I'm out. No reviews. No reviews. God damn it. You know what? No. No, I'm doing a review. I don't care if it's been out a month. I'm doing the review. I'm doing ARMS. I'm doing ARMS. God damn it. Okay guys, so I've owned ARMS for about a month now. I've played through pretty much everybody's story mode. I think I missed one or two. I haven't finished Max Brass or some of the others, but aside from that, I've pretty much beaten the entire game. I'm rank 7, I believe, in my ranked matches, and I have been like unlocking most of the ARMS. I haven't unlocked all of them yet. That will be a ridiculously difficult feat for me to do in a month, in my opinion, as a casual gamer, not like a completionist or something like that. I've been playing this game mostly in my spare time during in-between periods of playing Breath of the Wild, Overwatch, Persona, whatever I'm playing. And I gotta say, it's one of those games that's just so easy to pick up and just start playing, which is a great thing for ARMS. It's one of those arcadey type games that I would imagine I would see in an arcade maybe in the 1980s or something. You know, like it's that sort of a concept. Similar to like Punch-Out! Or Wii Sports Boxing, but it's not those things. It's its own thing. It's unique. It's Nintendo. It's fresh. It's a take on something that already exists, but is really, really fresh and different. It's a different outlook on an already existing genre of games. Like, fighter games had already been defined by a lot of old Nintendo games, so they just came back and were like, hey guys, I see the fighter genre hasn't changed too much since we've touched it. Let's go fix that right now. So what they did was they went on and fixed it. Well, not fixed it, they made it better. The fighting games are still equally as good, don't get me wrong, I still like regular fighting games, but ARMS is just... ARMS has a charm that other games don't normally have. To get onto the gameplay of ARMS, basically the gimmick of the game is that you're using spring arms to attack your enemies from a distance, so it's a ranged fighting game, which is completely brand new. I don't think there is another ranged fighting game. I'm sure there is somewhere, but I just haven't played it or seen it. But this game takes a lot of the issues with a lot of fighting games and makes them sort of, I suppose, less painful or annoying. You know, if you're getting beaten by your enemy, it's because you're not able to predict their moves. The AI in the game is actually extremely intelligent, especially at higher levels. I went from level 5 to level 8, and oh my god, I just got decimated. I couldn't deal with it. Like, the difficulty spike is unbelievable. But then eventually I did realize the patterns, and they actually anticipate your moves as you anticipate theirs, so it's really a game of wits as much as it is a game of skill. Each individual arm has its own internal health, while your health bar remains isolated from those two. Taking damage from, say, electricity will damage your arms, or wind will jump you up in the air, fire will hurt you more, or ice will slow you down. I've always personally been a big fan of the fire and lightning, or whatever you want to call it, electricity. It's just my favorite combo because I like to deal damage hard and I like to disable enemies so I can get in a grab or get in a punch or whatever. There's several different ways to play. You can play in the handheld mode, you can play with the Joy-Cons using the motion controls, which is actually quite satisfying, but it's not enough to actually want to play competitively. You don't get as good of a response playing with them as you would with the regular controller. I don't know how this works, but you can actually attach it to the Joy-Con grip, and as long as they're not moving, you can perfectly play detached from the console, which makes no sense to me because it's like, how does it recognize not to use the motion controls? But I suppose they figured it out. You can play with the Pro controller, obviously. I don't have one of those. I wish I kind of did now. My Joy-Con, the blue one, is starting to go a bit funny on me, so I wish I kind of did have one of those. This game has a massive variety of different game modes featuring things like basketball called Hoops, or a volleyball game where it's basically you and a friend or you and one enemy. It's really fun actually, but much more fun with friends. They have a versus mode, a 1 versus 100 mode, which I find extremely difficult but fun. And it's a great way to learn the characters. They just added a practice mode and a thing called Headlock. It's kind of like a mode where you all fight to get the headlock head that's the main enemy of the game, kinda. Not really a spoiler because it happens quite fast. But yeah, so there's all sorts of different playstyles for each individual, although unfortunately you still can't lay out the buttons, which I don't find too frustrating. I mean, the button layout is fine. I mean, they don't use all the buttons, but the ones that are used are very well placed. There's not much of a penalty for not using motion controls. I mean, you do lose the ability to not be able to tilt arms individually. Well, at least partially. You can tilt them individually if you're skilled enough, but you don't really lose anything by playing with the controller over the motion controls, but you do lose something by playing the motion controls over the controller. And it's very minute. I would recommend using the motion controls only if you're playing with friends, because it's a fun experience. It really is. Like, if you have 4 controllers and 2 friends, you just play together. It's real fun. Like, I did it before, and I had a great time, honestly. Although I do find that ARMS came out at the worst time, or at least they should have pushed back Splatoon, because the month gap I don't feel was enough for ARMS to get sort of a following. I feel like people are going to drop ARMS now and go over to Splatoon 2 because it's coming out this weekend. Well, the day I'm recording this, it's not out yet, but it probably will be out the day it goes up. So, yeah. But other than that, this game, the controls feel very responsive, and it feels extremely satisfying to punch people. Like, I know that's a very common thing to be said, but it's true. Like, when I punch someone, I expect it to hit hard. But, like, that's the thing. If I'm using a light weapon, I don't expect them to hit very hard. I expect it to hit, but not be exactly like, oh no, I'm really recoiling from this. That's why there's different types of weapons. There's light weapons, heavy weapons, and medium weapons. So, basically, light weapons are kind of like, they hit, but they don't hit very hard. And they don't cause much recoil, even in weaker enemies. But heavy weapons, they pretty much knock back anybody they hit who isn't guarding, but they're very slow and they're very hard to hit with because of that. It's usually easier to anticipate the move when it's a heavy weapon, but the thing is that they punch through any form of arms coming towards you, so it's usually better to be used defensively. And medium weapons, which are usually my favorite types of weapons, are just sort of even. You know, often they'll shoot fast, or they will shoot hard, or a sweet in-between, usually. Which I like. And I can't talk about this game without talking about its sick-ass music track. This game has an unbelievable soundtrack, and I recommend everybody just go listen to it separate to the game, even if you don't have it. The soundtrack is awesome. That's why I'm using it for this review. I love it. I can seriously just listen to this all day in a car or something. It's one of those memorable Nintendo soundtracks that'll always be stuck with me. I have to say that this game has captivated me once again. Nintendo, I love you. I love you so much. And I didn't used to be a huge Nintendo fanboy. I've been playing Nintendo games not as long as I've been playing, say, PlayStation games, or I've been playing Xbox games. Well, actually, I've been playing them longer than Xbox, but still. My point being is that Nintendo is genuinely coming out with some fantastic games at the moment, and I simply can't give them negative criticism because of that fact. Although I will criticize this game right now, or at least I'll tell you what I found wrong with the game. So, a common problem that a lot of people have with this game is the lack of content. Nintendo has promised that down the line they're going to be adding more characters, more game modes, more events, more everything, and in the last update that they just gave with Max Brass, they've proven that point. But the thing is, as the game stands right now, it is still very lacking in terms of story, in terms of why these people are fighting. We don't need to know why, but the thing is, we would like to know. I would love to know the backstory of, say, Min Min, or Twintel, or, say, Springman, or Ribbon Girl. I would love to know their backstories, but the only thing we get at the end of every single playthrough is one little small sketch of them, and I find that a little bit disappointing. Nintendo is usually great for building stories and characters, and they always come up with the most interesting characters, in my opinion. Them and a few other people, but usually it's Nintendo that would make characters that stick out to me the most. So to see them make a game where they don't really give us much context for the characters, or even though they're so interesting looking and they have such personality, it's kind of disappointing. And I have to say that I hope they do later on down the line, like they explained with the masks. They give us a bit more context and a bit more story to ARMS. I hope they do. Please do, Nintendo. And don't just drop this game now that Splatoon 2 is out, or don't drop it when Mario Odyssey comes out, you know? You gotta hold on to this game. This is a keeper if you can hold on to it. I could see a sequel to this game being made with a more story-driven mentality, and I would completely buy it, because it's a good game. So overall, I feel like this game is a must-have for people who own the Nintendo Switch. I wouldn't say buy the Nintendo Switch just for this game. It's not that good of a game. But if you do own a Nintendo Switch, this is a must-have. Much like Breath of the Wild, much like Splatoon 2 coming out soon, and much like Mario Odyssey. I can already tell those games are going to be good. It will have the finished Nintendo polish, hopefully. I've already played the premiere for Splatoon 2. It looks really good. The idols are fantastic. I love Marina. Marina is my bae. Pearl is okay. But yes, to get back on track, I would rate this game probably a 7 out of 10. Definitely worth playing, not worth buying a Switch for. Nintendo needs to fix some things about this game. Not much, but they do need to fix some things. But yeah, I should go into a little bit of detail about the new character that they just added, Max Brass. So Max Brass, he's a really interesting character because he's a hybrid between a small-figured and a large-figured character. Using the power of deviantart, he uses inflation porn to increase his size into a tank. It's pretty impressive, actually. While he's in his tank form, he can't be knocked down, but he has the exact same speed as he does when he's usually his regular size. And similar to Springman, when he gets brought down to 1 bar, he is permanently brought up to tank status. He's not able to flinch as easy, but the thing is, once he gets knocked down, he loses that status, and over time, he will deflate as long as he's not at 1 bar of health. And during that time, all of his arms are permacharged, so do watch out for that. He's quite a dangerous character. One of his fists is a fucking grenade, after all. It's a very strong hitting weapon, but if you hit him before it goes off, it actually damages him, so it's a risk versus reward kind of weapon, which I like. You can get it for everybody now, which I've actually started using it on Springman, actually. And the other big fist, I don't know what it's called, the golden fist. Those ones are very good. If you have ARMS and you haven't played since Max Brass came out, I would go back and check him out. He's definitely worth going back and seeing, and that Headlock game is really interesting. I was wondering, like, are they ever going to let us play as Headlock? And they did. They just literally threw it out there. As soon as they... Like, less than a month after the game is released, they just released a lot of content, so it's certainly worth going back. And it also, they just added a new feature recently called Events. If you go back into your home page and click on Events, make sure that you have your events turned on, so that whenever an event is on, you do get, like, put into it. That's an important thing. You know, you don't want to lose out on events if you're going to play the game anyway. And there's certainly a competitive scene for this game. I can see a lot of people playing this game competitively in, say, like an esports scene or something like that. There is certainly a scene for it. Because this game is a fighting game, after all. And it is a game of wits. It's all about whether or not you can anticipate your opponent's moves. So I hope Nintendo does something with it. And I hope that it does get into, say, a competitive scene. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye to my ARMS. Because I'm about to trade them in for some springs. At least until Splatoon 2 comes out, and then I'm sorry, ARMS, you're not dead to me, but you're gone until the next update or DLC. There's so many games coming out right now, and they're so good, and I don't like it. But thank you for watching, For any of you who have watched any of my previous stuff, thank you so much. If you want to check out some of my other videos, you want to check out my Breath of the Wild gameplay, I'll have a preview for them, or a card for them or something here. And just thanks for watching. If you could share this video around, maybe just give me a subscription or a like or something, that would be really appreciated. And I will see you guys whenever Splatoon 2 comes out. Hopefully I can actually play that game and finish something faster than ARMS. I doubt it though. But anyway, see you guys.